So before the video even starts, guys, can you guys please do me a favor? Watch the video all the way through if you can. And also, if you like the video, please hit the like button and possibly share the video. And if you really want to see more content from me, definitely subscribe. This helps us with the YouTube algorithm because likes and things like that are the things that drive us to be seen by other people and by people that normally wouldn't be able to see our videos given that we're a smaller channel. So with that being said, guys, let's get into it. So Microsoft and Uncle Phil, doing their best Bob Iger and Disney impersonation, have now purchased for $68.7 billion with a B dollars Activision Blizzard. So for those keeping score at home, now Microsoft owns Bethesda and they also own Activision Blizzard. So between the two of them, that's more than 30 IP. So for all the Xbox and people that are still involved in the console wars for whatever stupid reason, clamoring that this is a good thing for Microsoft, let me break this down for you real quick. So I use Disney deliberately, and there's a reason for that. So remember Bob Iger, the former CEO of Disney? Well, what was his game plan for success? Well, he purchased a lot of existing IP so that he could basically purchase hits. So let's look at that, shall we? So Bob Iger purchased Marvel, and he was able to procure Star Wars from George Lucas under rather dubious circumstances. So let's look at Marvel. Marvel made some hits. I mean hits. They made some hits under Disney, but where are they now? Well, all you need to do is look at 2021. In 2021, Marvel produced or helped produce 5 films. Now you say 5 films, well, what do you mean? Well, when I say 5 films, I mean Black Widow, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, The Eternals, Venom, and Spider-Man. Now, let's look at that. Of all 5 of those movies, which of those movies actually turned a profit? By profit, I mean after you account for the cost of production and the cost of advertising and marketing, which movies actually made a profit, are in the black, made money? Well, that would be Spider-Man and Venom. The Eternals lost money. Black Widow lost money. Shang-Chi may have broken even, but I'm pretty sure after you account for advertising and marketing, lost money. So these 5 movies, 5 films came out under the Marvel banner, under Marvel Disney. Only 2 of them, the 2 that were mostly produced by Sony, made money. Why? Because you can't buy creativity. You can't buy hits. You can buy company, but when it comes to the special sauce that makes a hit, you have to let the creatives create. And Disney Marvel is doing a piss poor job of that and have been since before Endgame. But again, the Marvel hype train was able to facilitate those movies making money, but people are getting smart. COVID taught us one thing and one thing only, is that we as consumers and as fans of things, we don't have to buy anything. There's enough competition out there to where we can ignore whatever the heck we feel like ignoring. And if you don't respect the fans, and if you don't do what we want you to do as entertainers, we can easily put our money back in our pocketbooks and our wallets and go elsewhere. And that is what is happening with Disney Marvel. People didn't care and they didn't show up. And I don't want to hear the COVID argument of, oh, well, people were so very afraid of the coof that they just weren't going to go out to the movies because Spider-Man did $1 billion. So fear was not a factor when it came to this film. So we can move on from that nonsense. So let's look at Star Wars now. Star Wars was a multi-billion-dollar franchise. Now it is holding on by a thread. The only properties that are really generating any type of buzz and or revenue for the Star Wars franchise are The Mandalorian and The Mandalorian. Literally nothing. Nobody is excited for new Star Wars projects going forward. That's why there are no real movies being announced or in the works, because they're trying to let that stink that is the sequel trilogy cool off for a bit before they start anything else. Disney utterly ruined and destroyed a multi-billion-dollar franchise because, again, they didn't let the creatives create. The people, executive producers like Kathleen Kennedy and even Bob Iger himself, allowed Star Wars, and in Kathleen Kennedy's case, actively facilitated the ruining of a money printing machine because you can't buy hits. You have to let the creatives create. Star Wars, after The Last Jedi, lost money. Diminishing return upon diminishing return happened because Disney felt that the IP and the Star Wars logo could shield them from any type of criticism, and they were dead wrong. So I ask you, in the case of Microsoft, when we're looking forward to the games that are produced, because it will be, I'd say, if we had to give a real number on it, it'll probably be between 2 and 5 years before any of these real acquisitions start to bear fruit for Microsoft. We will see what happens. I guarantee you that if any of these studios produce anything less than hits, the heavy hand of Microsoft will come down, and all the creativity that these studios were once known for will be literally wrung out of them like a wet dish rag. That's what's going to happen. We saw this already. We've seen this. We've heard this song before, and we skipped to the next one. If you don't believe me, think about what happened to Bungie. Where is Bungie now? Bungie was under Microsoft and then under Activision. And now they are on their own because they wouldn't let the creatives create. Microsoft tried to put all of their hands in what Bungie was doing with different projects, whether that be Halo or Destiny. And so Bungie walked away from their own property in the case of Halo. In the case of Destiny, they had to literally get that away from Activision just so that they could have the control and the ability to create in the way that they wanted to. And now these two companies have joined forces. What you're not understanding is that Microsoft's place in the gaming ecosystem when they first started was to bring balance to a gaming landscape that was mostly dominated by the Japanese. Think about that. Prior to Microsoft's Xbox, every console was owned by a Japanese company. The ability for the West to come in and have their own console literally made the Japanese look twice at the gaming landscape, and that was for the betterment of all gamers. Now, with Microsoft strong-arming and purchasing all of these different companies and all of these different developers, what's going to end up happening is that the Japanese are now going to have to refocus. Nintendo and Sony are going to have to refocus on doing what they do best. The only company that has ever managed to purchase different studios and still produce hit after hit after hit has been Sony, and that is because they let the creators create. Nintendo does what they do best because they fostered their own intellectual properties that they already own and have cultivated over many years. What Microsoft is doing, mark my words, will hurt gaming forever. But hey, you don't have to believe me. All you have to do is look at history. But hey, if you feel some kind of way, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know if you think I'm off base, if I'm just being a hater, or if you get the impression that I just hate Xbox, but which, by the way, I don't. I do believe that Microsoft's Xbox needs to exist in order to keep balance in the gaming industry. This is what mature gamers think. Mature gamers, they purchase every console that they can get because it's all about the games at the end of the day. And a market that has healthy competition is a market that's going to flourish. But what this is not that. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to see you on the next one. 8-Bit Heroes out. Peace.